Welcome, Genesis International College students. Let's dive right into this essential explainer for your CPCCCA3012 unit on building timber bath frames. Today, we're focusing squarely on Topic 2, constructing frames for bath installation. This is basically your definitive, ground-up guide to getting it absolutely right. Just look at the sheer focus of the carpenter working here. When we're dealing with wet area fit-outs, precision is completely critical. Literally everything you build at this stage determines whether the final bathroom is going to be a masterpiece or a catastrophic waterproofing failure. You're often working in super tight rooms, surrounded by other trades, and the accuracy of your framing, well, that's the absolute baseline for success. So we're going to tackle this exactly how you would on a real job site. Our agenda covers 5 steps today. 1. Preparation and planning. 2. The set-out sequence. 3. Erecting the bath frame. 4. Support and fixing techniques. And 5. Final checks for waterproofing. Let's get into it. Section 1. Preparation and planning. Before the hammer falls. Okay, here's a crucial reality check for you. Your work isn't just about making pieces of timber fit together like a giant puzzle. You are legally bound by the National Construction Code and Australian standards. These documents dictate the exact performance you have to achieve for moisture resistance, structural integrity, and of course, fire safety. To actually meet those strict standards, you have to meticulously read your plans. You're looking to locate fixtures, levels, backing requirements, and any site-specific falls to wastes. But it's not just about space. It's about time. You've got to confirm sequence constraints, like when exactly is the waterproofer arriving? You need to plan your cut and fix order so they have perfectly clear access, and you don't end up having to disturb their completed membranes later on. Section 2. The set-out sequence. Mapping the layout. Think of this sequence as your practical roadmap. You're going to start by confirming your dimensions, so the bath size and rim height, straight from the drawings. And please never ignore the scale notes. Next, you'll confirm your project datum and finished floor level before you even think about marking anything. Once that's done, you mark the footprint on the floor and precisely transfer the rim height to the wall using your laser or a level. Next up, you'll be marking out your stud center lines and your nogging heights. You'll also need to mark the housings for your mixers, spouts, and waste penetrations to make sure everything lands exactly where the design intends. And listen, here is where a lot of rookies totally slip up. You absolutely have to check your allowances for the thickness of the lining, the membrane buildup, and the tiles. If you forget those allowances, your bath literally just won't fit. Section 3. Erecting the bath frame. Building the structure. Now take a really good look at this fully constructed and set out timber bath frame. It's cut and fixed so the bath sits perfectly true. Notice how it provides this beautifully continuous, flat substrate? Well, that is exactly what you need to completely support the clean linings and waterproofing that'll be coming in next. So during the erection phase, you'll first reconfirm your dimensions from your set out marks. Measure twice, cut once, right? Then you cut your plates, studs, noggings, and trimmers. As you install the wall framing members, you've got to check for plumb and level constantly. Finally, you'll carefully notch the studs at the required height so they perfectly receive the bath lip without forcing it at all. After that, it's time to fix your noggings and backing in those marked positions. You'll construct and fix that critical front edge support, making sure it's dead straight and level. Then, you absolutely have to do a dry fit of the bath. Seriously, do not skip this step. This is where you check the position, adjust any packers if required, and complete your final level checks. Section 4. Support and fixing techniques. Troubleshooting on site. All right, let's be real for a second. On a construction site, things rarely go 100% to plan. Here are 2 common scenarios you might actually encounter. First, if you hit a bowed stud and spot a visible gap right behind the flange, well, that means your sealant lines might eventually fail. So, the fix? You'll want to plane those high spots and install packers so the flange bears completely evenly. And second, if you find pipes or cables suddenly occupying your notch zone, stop cutting immediately. You risk massive damage there. Just cease cutting, coordinate a minor reroute with the plumber or electrician, or at least get some protective plates in there. Which brings us to a literal golden rule. The shower base perimeter must not be pinched, gapped, or unsupported. If your frame isn't flush and bridges over voids, the waterproofing membrane is going to fail, for sure. And if the flange is crushed or crowded, the wall lining just will not finish cleanly. It's a domino effect. And remember, you are the first domino. Section 5, Final Checks for Waterproofing. Ready for waterproofing. We're at the finish line for this phase, so you need to ask yourself this question before you pack up your tools. Is your frame truly ready for the waterproofer? Because handing over a bad frame costs the project time, it costs money, and worst of all, it costs you, your professional reputation. You'll know you're genuinely ready to hand over when you can confirm these 3 things during that final dry fit. First, the rim reads perfectly level along its length and across the end. Second, the flange sits completely flush against every single notch stud, meaning you see absolutely zero daylight behind it. And third, the bath can be smoothly removed and reinstalled without scraping the recess at all. As Genesis International College students, mastering this exact process is how you evolve into a highly respected tradesperson. You become the kind of carpenter that other trades actually love to follow, simply because your work makes their work better. So I want to leave you with this final thought. Your timber frame is eventually going to be completely hidden behind cement sheet and beautiful tiles, but its absolute perfection is the only thing keeping that bathroom intact for the next 20 years. So what invisible disasters will your precision prevent on your next job? Thanks for joining me in this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.